A suburban city gets permission to send drones on patrol in place of police officers.
That's what we're hoping to accomplish here. Catch the bad guys, keep everybody safe, and be a more effective policing.
The sad end of a city rec center. It used to offer a very different form of exercise as a swingers club. And we catch up with a college student who defied expectations and made beautiful music.
Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle, but I think I've overcome it pretty well.
Tonight on Next. Commerce City Police are preparing to deploy a fleet of drones that can cover the whole city. FAA just gave them permission to do it with limited human involvement in that form of policing. Fun new tech or dystopian nightmare? Our Evan Krugel takes a look.
So I'm going to start the rotors, make sure everybody's clear. Clear.
Launching a drone is something Dennis Davenport does almost every day.
Make sure everything looks good.
But the crime scene investigator at Commerce City Police has faced restrictions on how far away he can fly.
And the drone had to be within visual sight of the pilot at all times or an observer.
This week, that changed, thanks to a new waiver that's being given out by the FAA.
And with these new rules, we're allowed to fly what they call beyond visual line of sight.
It means Dennis can fly up to 6 miles away, as long as he stays below 200 feet.
It's a huge deal. It allows us to respond to scenes in a very quick manner. We'll fly as the crow flies, so to speak.
Sunday, the department used it for the first time, flying more than a mile away from headquarters to a disturbance at Monaco Park. Video from the drone shows officers tracking and detaining a suspect wanted for assault.
It was an invaluable asset in that particular case, and that's what we're hoping to accomplish here. Catch the bad guys, keep everybody safe, and be a more effective policing.
It will be as transparent as we can make it.
Chief Daryl Guadagnola understands there will be concerns over safety and privacy.
What they will never be used for is to monitor stop signs or red lights or peek into areas where people have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Our policy specifically prohibits that.
Guadagnola says they will be used to respond to reports of gunshots and to track stolen cars through flock license plate readers.
Certainly this is one more tool where we could put a drone in the air if there's a probable cause to, and watch a car to its ending point, and then perhaps pick that time to introduce ourselves to the occupants and or recover the stolen vehicle.
And they are just getting started here. In the next few weeks, the department will be staging 4 drones on rooftops across the city. They'll have weatherproof cases and charging stations, meaning they'll be able to launch without any human involvement on that rooftop. Kyle, Chief Guadagnola says he knows the community is going to have questions and concerns regarding all of this. He's promising full transparency as they move forward with this.
And if they deliver on that, this could be really interesting, right? Because you can totally see the benefit of a drone chasing overhead as opposed to a police cruiser racing along on city streets. First time it looks in somebody's window, they're going to be less than thrilled.
Right. This could eliminate police chases across the city. That's a big deal. But of course, there's all of those privacy components. They will be tracking which officers are doing which flights with each drone. But that information will be kept internally. Also, that video, a big component of this, that will be held but then deleted, similar to body camera video.
All right, Evan Krugel, thank you very much. The Trump administration wants the Supreme Court to overturn lower court rulings so that Trump can end birthright citizenship in America. Today, the justices seem torn on how to address potential judicial overreach without completely upending constitutional protections for people born in the U.S. On his first day in office, President Trump issued an executive order ending birthright citizenship for people without at least one parent who's an American citizen or lawful permanent resident. That would impact children born in America to parents who don't have legal status here or parents who are on short-term student or tourist visas. But his order has been blocked nationwide by federal judges in a couple states. In arguments before the court today, the justices seemed less interested in backing up Trump's radical rewrite of birthright citizenship, but did seem open to limiting the power of federal judges to issue those nationwide injunctions. If the Supreme Court overturns the nationwide injunctions without ruling on the constitutionality of Trump's order on birthright citizenship, that could create this patchwork of court orders across the country. Colorado's Democratic Attorney General Phil Weiser, who sued to protect birthright citizenship in Colorado, says that outcome would be chaos.
Let's just say Colorado brings a case like the one we did here to protect our citizens who are birthright citizens. But let's say Idaho doesn't. What happens if you're born in Idaho? You don't get the benefit of the ruling. You're not a citizen. But what if you move to Colorado? Do you become one? In matters like this with basic constitutional rights, I don't know how you separate the nature of the relief just to those individual states, because the violation of the constitutional right applies across the board.
Decision on this is expected by the end of June. The court precedent limiting nationwide injunctions would also really help the Trump administration push through some other priorities. The administration says that federal judges have issued 40 nationwide orders blocking a slew of its priority policies. Hard news for my pillow guy Mike Lindell today. The federal district court judge in Colorado denied a request to delay Lindell's election denial defamation trial. Lindell's team wanted more time to dig out of a mess of their own making after they submitted a court filing written by AI that was full of just make-believe nonsense. Lindell goes on trial in Denver in June for his claims that Dominion voting systems based here, and one of their employees in particular, rigged the 2020 election against Donald Trump. In the spirit of making up complete fiction, Lindell's team turned in an AI-written brief with 30 defective citations. Judge Nina Wong has threatened to refer those attorneys for discipline, and she just ruled the trial will go on in June as scheduled. The only city rec center in Northeast Aurora is closing, just like the swingers club that used to be in the same spot. After decades of sweaty people enjoying themselves at that location, the building itself is crumbling. Our Marshall Zellinger found some unusual history.
Unmarried adults only. Applications are now being accepted for private membership in Spring Hill Country Club.
Before it served Northeast Aurora as a rec center starting in 1973, it allowed for a different type of workout.
What is now Beck Rec Center was built as a swingers club in the late 60s.
The construction appears to be a swing and a miss by today's standards.
Yeah, the pool instigated a lot of the investigation.
Brian Green, Aurora's Parks, Rec, and Open Space Director, explained how a gas leak that closed the pool temporarily will close the rec center permanently.
We quit filling the pool and then charted how much water we were losing over time, and that's what the red tape marks on the side, or that's how much water was going somewhere.
Investigating the water leak in the pool revealed groundwater under the pool and led to a building-wide review.
Toward the bottom of the wall over there, you can see where the block is starting to deteriorate, and that's from water damage, is what I'm told. The entire roof has been determined to be completely at the end of its life.
Green said there were regular inspections, but what was discovered cannot be fixed.
There's no amount of maintenance that changes the corrosion that's happening to structural steel members under those conditions.
The announced closure this week is abrupt, though it's more than a month in the making.
Like, honestly, if I heard this presentation, I wouldn't step foot in there.
At this April 12th Aurora Council Spring Workshop, City Council learned of the damage and the $31 to $58 million cost to repair or replace.
And I'm pissed that we have rec centers that look like this.
Around the time of that meeting last month, parents of the 45 or so preschoolers who attend class at the rec center learned their classrooms next year would be moved 6 miles away at a city preschool in Lowry. The two closest rec centers are also 6 miles away.
We do see it as a gap. We're going to initiate a feasibility study on how we can replace those recreation services in Ward 2.
And with Buckley Space Force Base just down the street, Beck could not be rebuilt where it is because of safety concerns.
The rec center currently exists in the accident potential zone. That prevents us from rebuilding in this location.
Lot to unpack here. Yeah, there's a zone around Buckley that you are no longer allowed to have new development with more than 50 residents or visitors per acre, or have lots of children or elderly people because of a concern of a potential aircraft crash. 2 other footnotes. The city did spend $5 million renovating Beck in 2011, the pool area, new locker rooms, and fitness area. And there's an effort called Build Up Aurora to get feedback from residents on how and where they want money to be spent in the future. City leaders will take that feedback and determine where and how money will be spent, and if they need to ask voters for more money in the future, like for a new Northeast Aurora Rec Center.
Well, for starters, Marshall, this is why they always tell you to wipe down the equipment. Can we bring that ad back up from the 60s? Do we have that ad? Pull that ad back up. Unmarried adults only. Check out, okay, Spring Hill Country Club offers the unmarried adult the opportunity to fulfill their recreational needs, desires, and pleasures in an environment designed to provide each member with companionship, activity, and an exciting way of life never before available. These are your people, Marshall. They're from Aurora. These are your people.
I'll tell you, you go on some stories and you get surprised by, hey, I didn't know this little bit of information.
Yeah.
When you get there and find out this used to be a singles club or a swingers club,
Yeah.
like, wow, the story's taken a bit of a turn.
Did you see this activity list? They've got tennis courts, they've got a swimming pool, archery, giving all those cupids little bows and arrows. They got sand beaches.
My favorite was just the word entertainment.
Entertainment, my goodness, sand beaches. You know how hard it is to get sand out of your shoes? All right, Marshall Zellinger with the story of the day. Thank you, Marshall. Do you feel that sinking feeling? No, not my job slipping away. The city of Denver is literally sinking.
I haven't met any other people that play the piano the way that I do.
He had a setback, but now it sets him apart. It is a performance and perseverance, and it's next. A home in Steamboat Springs could soon cost extra if the homeowner isn't living there full time. City Council is considering a vacancy tax. The city says it costs $12 million a year to provide city services to vacant homes, and the people living in those units part-time don't generate as much revenue because they're not out about town spending money. Now city leaders are considering a vacancy tax for any home that is not occupied or rented out more than 183 days per year. They're looking at either a tiered tax based on the home size or a flat tax of up to $3,100. This would be Colorado's first vacancy tax. So there are a lot of questions about enforcement, about how homeowners would prove that their homes occupied the majority of the year. Once City Council works out the specifics, they could refer this question to voters later this year. City Council in Boulder was considering a similar vacancy tax this year. They hope that it would at least push property owners to rent out their vacant places and increase affordable housing stock. Boulder dropped that proposal earlier this year. So I'm curious what Denver's identity will revolve around a million years from now, because at that point, the city will no longer be a mile high. New research suggests that Denver is sinking at a glacial pace. That could cause problems down the road. According to a peer-reviewed study in Nature, 98% of Denver's landmass is sinking at an average rate of 2 millimeters per year. Researchers at Virginia Tech compared satellite data over 6 years and found that 25 of the 28 most populous cities in America are sinking over time, most of them because they're pumping groundwater from beneath the cities. The study says that Denver's slow sink is also driven by a process called glacial isostatic adjustment. Basically, the land is still adjusting to glaciers melting during the last ice age. The study says the vast majority of that sinking land in Denver is at low risk for infrastructure problems in the near future, but researchers suggest that cities should start some long-term planning because of the stress on roads and building foundations. I don't know, Corey Reppenhagen, I wonder if that glacial isostatic adjustment is the reason that former swingers club turned rec center in Aurora is crumbling. You don't know. That could be it. I mean, it's either the activities above ground or the activities below ground. You know what I'm saying?
How did I know that that was where you were going to go with this? Right back, I didn't think you were going to survive that segment with Marshall, honestly.
It was close.
It was
close.
That was tough. Hey, yeah, you know, are the Nuggets wearing the 5280 jerseys tonight? I hope so. Those things, they're going to be a collector's item in a few million years. Take a look at the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel right now. We have snow happening right now. It's been kind of on and off over the last couple hours. Later on tonight, that will start sticking. We could see an inch or two of snow here by the end of the night. We'll clear up by tomorrow morning, as I'll show you on Future Cast here. This is our in-house computer forecast model showing those snow showers kind of being condensed right along the I-70 mountain corridor. Heavy at times tonight. We could see a little bit of snow accumulation in places like Summit County and also in the on those mountain passes. Once we get into tomorrow, we'll be clear for most of the day here on the Front Range until the evening, but most of the state is going to be dry through the day tomorrow, and that will be our one break as the next storm system comes in here on Saturday. We'll just see some isolated thunderstorms across the state on Saturday. That could include the Denver metro area, just about a 15 to 20% coverage. Temperatures are going to be really nice, though, into the 70s, and with the reduction in the wind, those temperatures may be enjoyable tomorrow, and then we'll carry some rain chances on Sunday and Monday as well. Kyle?
A CU student is making beautiful music in a way that only he can. Hey, a reminder, if the bosses don't take the show off the air after tonight, we will continue to stream live each weeknight 9 News Plus at 6 o'clock. It will also be a podcast wherever you find those. A lot can change from freshman year to senior year. So let's check in with somebody whose story we first shared back in 2021. Hunter Gamble was just starting his music studies at CU Denver, and back then he told us he was nervous about overcoming his physical disability. Let's see what he's up to now.
This is Love on the Rocks by Sarah Bareilles.
This is a story to help other people realize how important music arts are. I needed a reason work so hard for this love of mine. My name is Alexi Peterson and I study vocal performance at CU Denver.
My name is Hunter Gamble. I study piano performance at CU Denver. I have cerebral palsy that has limited function in my left arm. It was a challenge that I decided to take on, and it's brought me here with almost graduating with a degree in piano performance, so that's pretty cool. I was honestly really terrified when I was starting here. I was like, because it's a new group of people, and I feel like throughout my entire life I've had to go the same story over and over again.
To be completely honest, I didn't really know that he had that disability like from the get-go. You play beautifully, and that just never crossed my mind. And then once we started playing together, then he was like, oh, I actually do have this disability where I can't play with my left hand, but it doesn't stop him at all.
If I were to talk to my freshman self about all of this, I would just tell him to be authentic and just be unapologetic of like who you are.
Baby, believe me.
People are going to accept you, and people are going to think you're awesome for doing the things that you do.
Yeah.
Hunter and Alexi will be joined by their band for Hunter's senior recital at the Clock Tower Cabaret in Denver later tonight. So Marilyn, I was looking back through the amenities list. Golf, of course, you love to golf. You love to golf. Yeah, they had that. They had lounges, parties, dancing, entertainment, year-round social program.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a happening place, that Spring Hill Country Club. She's gonna pass. All right. Well, we're back with your feedback next. Mark writes in to say, Kyle, this is my first next feedback. Tonight's jacket leaves me speechless. Good speechless? Bad speechless, Mark? Mary says, I wasn't ready for that jacket. Michael in Aurora says, I thought the color contrast on my TV was off. Beautiful sport coat, but it's rather loud. Here's the deal with this. The last time that I wore this was for the Nuggets championship parade. They tip off in 5 minutes. It's a must-win game for them. So hoping to bring them a little luck. And then finally, just a text that says, take it off, Kyle. No, this isn't that rec center club thing. We're not going to do that around here. It's a family show. See you next time.